A very good evening to all of you, and welcome to yet another edition of Wealthwise with Edelweiss, our webinar series on personal finance with industry experts. Joining us today are two guests from Edelweiss Professional Investor Research Team, Mr. Sahil Kapoor and Ms. Ankita Pathak. Mr. Sahil Kapoor is Chief Market Strategist with an experience over 13 years. And joining him is Ms. Ankita Pathak, economist and market enthusiast. Countries around the world are opening up economies at a staggered rate. And today, we will be discussing the impact of easing of lockdown on Indian and global economy and their outlook on markets. To our audience, please note there might be a time lag of 10 to 15 seconds due to connectivity or network issue. Kindly bear with us on the same. Welcome Sahil and Ankita. Let's start with you, Sahil. Please tell us your insights on the ease of lockdown.
Hi, thank you, Tanya. Good evening, everybody. So today we are going to take you through our hypothesis on how economy is opening up, what is our opinion on markets. So our talk will be divided into a few sections. First, we'll talk about our overall take on how the economy is opening up. I think that is a very, very crucial question. We'll also go through different data sets on how we are tracking the reopening of the economy. We'll look at India and some global comparisons. Then we'll take you through some crucial high frequency indicators that we are tracking, like fast tag collections and stuff like that, which are very, very important, which will tell you how fast things are coming back or how slow they are. Then we'll move on to global markets. The kind of stimulus that you're hearing about, stimulus being given by US and Eurozone, etc. And then we'll also talk about our opinion on equity markets, on debt markets, and what you should do as an investor right now. So this will be the brief contours of what we're going to speak today. I'll invite Ankita to start with, how things are looking at when the economy is reopening. What are the key to watch? And then I'll come back and talk to you guys. Ankita, over to you.
Thanks, Sahil, and good afternoon, everyone. So, as we all know, before we start on where the economic recovery is taking us in particular, we'll spend some time on what has been the cause of the market crash, like the COVID-19 that took over us. So, as we stand today, there is one important statistics that I think we all should be happy about, which is that of the total number of cases that were diagnosed COVID positive, 49% of cases have recovered and 5 have suffered death. So overall, 46% of the total cases are just the active cases as of today. So if there are total, I think, global cases of about 84 lakh total cases, about 40 lakhs have recovered and the number of active cases are lesser. So this is a good sign. This is one sign that we have been wanting to watch out for. The second thing is that this global pandemic has kind of been doing rounds. So it first peaked out in US. After that, we saw it moving towards, it first peaked out in China. After that, it peaked out in Europe. Now it is kind of doing rounds in US. So US at peak was adding about 35,000 cases on daily basis. It has fallen down to about 18 to 19,000 cases on daily basis. There has been some volatility in last 2-3 days when the number of cases has jumped, but overall US active cases also looks to be plateauing. Now the pain point or the countries which are contributing most to the new cases as of now are more developing countries. So that's Brazil, Russia, and India, which is adding to the cases. So Brazil, for an example, is adding about 25,000 cases on a daily basis. Russia is now adding about 8,500, and India is adding close to 10 to 12,000 cases. So the virus is more profound per se in these areas, but again we have green shoots visible. India, of course, is a bigger economy with 130 crore people. The challenges are very, very different. India has ramped up its testing capacity. As of today, we are testing 165,000 sample tests on a daily basis. We expect to take this up to 3 lakhs fairly soon. So the testing ramp up has been pretty impressive. Having said that, the infection rate, which is number of samples that are diagnosed positive in the overall testing, has been increasing. So in the start of the pandemic, if we were testing about 10,000 tests, we were diagnosing about 4% to be positive, which is about 400. Today, we are testing about 150,000 cases, and we are having about 7% of the samples which is turning out to be positive. So testing has gone up, but so has the infection rate. And though there is a happy news in terms of active cases that are plateauing and they are doubling at about 27 days now. So it's the slowest pace they are doubling, and there are good news. The bad news could rather be the testing infection rate going up. So this is one data point that we are watching very carefully, and we expect the tests will go up, so much so that this number will also start falling fairly soon. So I think this slide that we put in just covers that fact that even though we are testing more, the infection rate seems to be surprising us. Now, in terms of the virus peaking out, at least in the developed world and China to start with, the lockdown restrictions have been eased and markets have taken it fairly positively. So in the beginning, I guess the narrative was more like we don't know what's driving the markets. It's just the reopening and markets moved up to pre-COVID levels pretty fast. I think markets once again were forward-looking as they're expected to be. And as and when we are getting the high frequency data, the hard data that we're tracking, it proves the hypothesis that the recovery is turning out to be much faster than it was previously expected. So there are positive surprises. Before we got the hard data, we were kind of tracking the mobility, and mobility was going up fairly fast. US was leading the global reopening. So if we look at the numbers for something like retail and recreational, which is completely non-essential, mobility levels were down up to 90%. They are currently down up to 30% from the baseline levels. So this gap has been filled up. So even though they remain below pre-COVID levels, they have been catching up fairly fast. So, and this is the consistent narrative that we have seen. It's not just US and Europe that we're talking of at this point. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but if you can keep your PPT in full screen mode.
Okay, I'll do that. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better now. And also there are some of the people in the audience who wish if you guys can switch between English and Hindi as well.
Okay, we shall do that. So I think abhi tak jo hum bol rahe the, that was all ki mobility has come up, and because coronavirus seems to be peaking, कुछ countries में the infection खत्म हो रहा था, तो वो economies खुल गए, उसकी वजह से markets moved up, and markets को ऐसा expectation था कि economy अच्छा करेगी, and as and when जब हमें economy पे real data मिल रहा है, we are able to see कि ऐसा हो रहा है, the recovery is turning out better than it was previously expected. And as I was saying before, this is not the trend that we are seeing only in the US and EU. This is also the trend that we are seeing in other emerging markets. So like Indonesia, Malaysia, China, Vietnam, all of this, our Asian peers, they have gotten over the virus much earlier. So I think all of these countries saw a peak in late March, early April, and their high frequency data has improved thereon. So some data points हमने PPT में डाले हैं, बाकी data points है जो that we are tracking on daily basis. जैसे car sales का data था, तो Chinese car sales latest number in May are up by 2% YOY, and this is the rebound they've seen after some 10 months of being flat. So these kinds of good numbers are coming. Even in US, yesterday, day before yesterday, we saw the retail sales ka number, and it was up about 18% month on month. Apparels, kapde, Shopping was up about 188% monthly basis पे. Furniture was up about 90%. So there is clearly a trend that is emerging when we look at global data कि consumption had been very subdued. It was almost negative discretionary consumption, but the rebound has been very positive and people are getting out, people are spending. It's visible in the kind of discretionary expenditure that we are seeing inching up. Again, India mein mobility has started. The green line here is Kerala. So Kerala has, I think it was one of the first states to flatten out the curve. Consequently, mobility वहाँ पे सबसे पहले बढ़ी थी. बाकी states are catching up, but India का problem remains कि Delhi, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, ये जो states हैं जो about 35 to 40% of India's का GDP को कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं, ये वही स्टेट्स हैं जहां पे सबसे ज्यादा कोविड का स्प्रेड है. तो इवन दो नंबर्स आर गुड, numbers will look much better once COVID wanes away from these states. So I think this table is a good summation of the point I'm trying to make, that if we look at numbers, it looks like April marked the absolute bottom. Even though we are not back one-on-one on pre-COVID levels, we are not so far behind either. So the recovery has been very good. जब कोविड था, कोविड पीक कर रहा था, तो नैरेटिव ये बन रहा था कि एक बहुत बड़ा डेंट इकोनॉमी को आएगा जो शायद हम रिकवरी नहीं कर पाएंगे या सालों साल लग जाएंगे. जो डेटा आ रहा है उससे हमें ये लग रहा है कि वो गैप हम बहुत जल्दी फिल कर पा रहे हैं. तो I will not cover all the points here, but like if we look at cement production, on good months our average is about 28 million tons. April में we produced 4 million tons because obviously construction and all demand was at halt. We are at 20 million tons in May. So the gap is fairly low. And I think all the data like FASTag collections हमारे 1800 करोड़ जब से FASTag आया है Feb में उसके अराउंड होते थे. Again April में mobility नहीं थी तो 200 करोड़ गए, but about 900 crores have been added and we are at 1100 crores already. Similar scene है अगर हम employment देखें, so employment, so this is millions job lost. So April में we lost about 40 millions job in urban and about 73 million job in rural. But when we talk in May, some 21 million jobs have already been added back. This is also the narrative we are hearing in US, and these numbers are expected to be much better in June and henceforth. So clearly the narrative is that has now shifted, that the gap created by COVID could probably be a one-off, because this kind of lockdown, this kind of disruption जो हमने देखा है, it's unprecedented. I don't think economy को पूरी तरह से halt पे पहले कभी लगाया गया है. Hence the kind of impact was very severe, but the gap filling has also been fast. So I think I'll rush through these slides, and any questions we can take later. But basically, government ने भी थोड़ा खर्चा किया है, which is because Aadhaar link payments have gone up. Migrants worker, whoever have gone up, have demanded more work under NREGA, and there is government has also tried to provide more work. So these are some of the positives, and one big positive that we found was that for consumer durables, it looks like there is a lot of pent-up demand. So the data we tracked was that we looked on Google Trends and we found what is it that people are searching for. So a lot of people are looking to buy durables like vacuum cleaner, dishwasher, air conditioners, microwave. So some of them also show the consumer behavior में जो trend आ रहा है. Maybe India में अब DIY का concept ज़्यादा आ जाएगा, and people will want to buy more of vacuum cleaners and dishwashers, and we'll see more of our consumer durable companies investing into production of these. But it looks like there's a lot of pent-up demand, and there could be a hedonistic consumption after this. Now, with all the opening up narrative, there's obviously always a question कि ठीक है, you can open up the economy, that will create supply. आप manufacturing unit खोल देते हो तो people will start manufacturing goods. But इसे खरीदेगा कौन? Where is the demand? So I think our take here is that it's not supply versus demand. It's more like supply with demand. We agree that, and I think Sahil will take you more in detail of this, that fiscal stimulus in India, जब private खर्चा नहीं कर रहा है तो government has to come up and do the expenditure. That is, I think, the norm. But that has not played out in India so well, because of which India's demand might remain subdued. And this is one leg that we might be lacking on. So even though other legs, especially private expenditure and net exports, even when they start coming back on track, demand due to government not going out and spending and increasing the fresh expenditure might suffer. And we are cautious of it. So despite taking all the mobility, high frequency coming, for now, we are sticking to our nominal GDP forecast for FY21, which is about 0%. Yeah, if FY20 we saw a nominal GDP of 203 lakh crores, I think FY21 will be the same, not more. And real GDP might as well be negative. We expect real GDP to be negative about 2%. We don't think inflation will be a concern at all this year. GDP deflator is about 2/3 of that deflator is made of WPI. Last reading of WPI was -3. And with crude prices fairly subdued, I think that would remain in negative to zero territory. CPI inflation, we expect it to come under 4% by the time this year ends. So deflator shouldn't be more than 1 to 2%, might as well be flat also. So inflation concerns are abated. Nominal GDP, we see it at 0%. Real GDP could be negative, would be negative rather. And the first quarter, we expect would see a contraction on upwards of 30%. So first quarter's number that we will see in August could look up more than -30%. Having said that, the recovery could be much faster. And I think the narrative for V-shaped recovery remains fairly strong. With this, I think I'll invite Sahil to come over and he'll run us through how global stimulus has been and how market performance across asset classes is expected to be in the near term. So Sahil, over to you.
Thank you, Ankita. So I'll take you through a few highlights which I think are very, very important. So Ankita left us at a very crucial juncture in terms of the narrative. तो सबसे पहली बात ये है कि it's quite clear that there is a stronger reopening of the economy which is happening. So I think that point is very clear कि economy जो मार्च में और अप्रैल में एंड ऑफ मार्च में जो लॉकडाउन अनाउंस हुआ था उसके बाद जो इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ पूरा बंद पड़ गया अप्रैल के अंदर, इट वाज कंप्लीटली शट डाउन. दैट हैज बिगन टू पिक अप बिकॉज मेनी सिटीज हैव ओपनड अप. एंड उसमें जो डेटा हम जब देखते हैं, जो जैसे डेटा जो अंकिता ने आपको स्लाइड्स पे भी बताया, सीमेंट प्रोडक्शन है, टोल कलेक्शन है, टू व्हीलर डिमांड है, ट्रैक्टर डिमांड है, ई वे बिल्स जो जनरेट हो रहे हैं, ये सब इंडिकेटर्स ये पिन पॉइंट कर रहे हैं कि जो रिकवरी है इट हैज स्टार्टेड. पहले एक्सपेक्टेशन था कि ये रिकवरी बहुत स्लो होगी, कि 3 महीने 6 महीने लग जाएंगे सब चीज़ों को वापस आने में. बहुत सारे वर्कर्स हैं जो सिटीज छोड़ के गांव चले गए हैं, दैट इज क्रिएटिंग अ प्रॉब्लम. बहुत सारी फैक्ट्रीज हैं विच आर क्लोज. सो देयर वाज लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन एंड अनसर्टेनिटी कि ये कैसे होगा, हाउ विल ऑल दिस कम बैक. दिस क्वेश्चन इज स्टिल देयर. तो वी आर नॉट सेइंग कि ये क्वेश्चन फुली आंसर हो गया है, बट व्हाट वी आर सेइंग इज कि जो डेटा अभी आ रहा है it is showing trends which are stronger than earlier expected, and I think that is a very very important part. And ये trend सिर्फ इंडिया में नहीं है, we are witnessing this trend in US में सबसे पहले देखने को मिला, जहाँ पे जॉब लॉसेस रिकवर हो गए. यूरोजोन में हमको देखने को मिला, जर्मनी में, और एशिया में तो ये पहले देखने को मिला ही है. So we have been able to see this play out in country after country. So a lot of people are still not, they still feel कि Chinese data may not be very reliable, but we are able to see same data in South Korea, in Japan, in Germany, now in Italy also. So country after country we are witnessing that things are changing. and for the economy, things are getting back to normal, and I think it's a very important trend to watch. अभी question है कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? Why are things getting back to normal at a faster than expected pace? I think that is the question, and up until now we have covered only one point, that things are getting back towards normalcy, not to normalcy. They are progressing well, and why they are progressing well is a very very important question. So let me take you through कि यूएस में ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है पहले. तो अगर आप यूएस का रिस्पॉन्स देखें, गवर्नमेंट रिस्पॉन्स, सो व्हाट द गवर्नमेंट हैज डन इन यूएस, सो यूएस ट्रेजरी जो है, जो गवर्नमेंट का पार्ट है, उन्होंने क्या किया, बहुत बड़ा फिस्कल स्टिमुलस दिया है. सो अगर आप ये लेफ्ट साइड पे चार्ट देख रहे हैं स्लाइड में, you will see that their fiscal deficit is going to go from about 3.5% to nearly 15 to 20% in 2020. तो अगर आप साइज ऑफ यूएस इकोनॉमी देखेंगे, इंडिया की इकोनॉमी 2.7 ट्रिलियन डॉलर्स है, यूएस की इकोनॉमी तकरीबन 22 ट्रिलियन डॉलर्स है, तकरीबन 8 गुना बड़ी है इंडिया से. तो 22 ट्रिलियन डॉलर के सामने US is now saying that I'm going to give a stimulus between 3.5 to 4 ट्रिलियन डॉलर्स. 3.5 से 4 ट्रिलियन डॉलर का वो स्टिमुलस देने की बात कर रहा है. तो आप समझिए कि 4 ट्रिलियन डॉलर तकरीबन 300 लाख करोड़ से भी ऊपर पैसे हैं. दैट इज द अमाउंट ऑफ स्टिमुलस दैट दे आर गिविंग. और उसके साथ में व्हाट देयर सेंट्रल बैंक इज डूइंग, इट इज पंपिंग अ लॉट ऑफ लिक्विडिटी इनटू द मार्केट्स. वो कैसे लिक्विडिटी पंप करता है? दे आर गोइंग अहेड एंड बाइंग बॉन्ड्स, they are buying US government bonds, they are buying corporate bonds. अभी तो last week US Fed ने announce किया that they are going to buy secondary market से corporate bond. So which is again a very very important step. इससे क्या होता है कि cost of capital गिरता है. जो banks में या फिर interbank market है या जो financial institutions हैं, the amount of trust that they have lost on each other, उसकी replacement में central bank आ जाता है. It will come and help in getting things back. So I think this is one of the most important aspect. A very large fiscal stimulus, जो size मैंने आपको बताया, और बहुत बड़ा monetary stimulus. मतलब Fed ने rates zero कर दिए, loans वो बांट रहा है, आप इसको liquidity भी बोल सकते हैं, which is what is the term being used right now. So central bank is infusing liquidity, and the government is spending a lot of money. सिमिलर नैरेटिव अगर आप यूरोजोन में देखेंगे, लेफ्ट साइड में सेंट्रल बैंक लिक्विडिटी, सेंट्रल बैंक का जो बैलेंस शीट है, इट इज गोइंग थ्रू द रूफ. दे आर गोइंग टू गो टू अबाउट 7 ट्रिलियन euros, which will be closer to about 50% of यूरोजोन GDP, जो ये पर्टिकुलर कंट्रीज का डेटा हमने लिया है. और साथ ही साथ दे आर गोइंग टू स्पेंड ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ मनी. तो आप कॉन्ट्रास्ट देखेंगे कि यूरोजोन के जो ये डेटा हमने लिया है, उन कंट्रीज का जो फिस्कल डेफिसिट था, दैट वाज 60 बेसिस पॉइंट्स. दैट नंबर इज गोइंग टू गो अप टू अबाउट 10%. दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ स्पेंडिंग दैट दीज गाइज आर डूइंग. तो ये सब एक्सपेंडिचर से क्या हो रहा है? दैट इज द मूट क्वेश्चन व्हिच आई वांटेड टू अराइव एट. सो अंकिता सेड दैट देयर इज अ रिकवरी व्हिच इज हैपनिंग एंड व्हिच इज टेकिंग द शेप ऑफ अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग रिकवरी. Why this recovery is happening? Because अगर आप सोचें कि एक स्ट्रेट लाइन में जीडीपी ऊपर जा रहा है, मतलब एक कंट्री का ग्रोथ ऊपर जाता जा रहा है, ये वायरस की वजह से दैट ग्रोथ ड्रॉप्ड, और कुछ दिनों के लिए तो इट वेंट टू मे बी 0 और -50 और एक्सट्रीमली शार्प ड्रॉप. सो व्हाट गवर्नमेंट एंड सेंट्रल बैंक इज डूइंग कि जिस पीरियड में ग्रोथ ड्रॉप हो गया है, उस पीरियड में इकोनॉमी को जिंदा रहने के लिए जो पैसे चाहिए, these guys are providing. So government is doing the expenditure, giving free money to people, giving loans to businesses, so that in this period when there is no demand or lack of demand, businesses are able to survive. Citizens who are out of job, they are able to survive. Their expenditure continues to some extent. And once businesses open up, जैसे यूएस के अंदर उन्होंने लॉकडाउन ईज किया, businesses open हुए, businesses realized, same is the case in Eurozone, कि उन्होंने कुछ ज्यादा ही लोगों को नौकरी से निकाल दिया था या फरलो पे डाल दिया था कि अभी आप जॉब पे मत आओ. बट उन्होंने देखा डिमांड अच्छा है, दे कॉल्ड बैक मेनी वर्कर्स. और कुछ बिजनेसेस ने अपने एम्प्लॉइज को इसलिए भी वापस बुला लिया क्योंकि अगर उनको गवर्नमेंट के पैंडेमिक प्रोटेक्शन प्रोग्राम जो कोरोना वायरस के लिए यूएस गवर्नमेंट ने बुलाया है, अगर उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करना है तो उनको अपने वर्कर्स को रोल्स पे रखना पड़ेगा. दैट मीन्स उनकी एम्प्लॉयमेंट प्रोटेक्टेड रहेगी. तो अगर आप इन दोनों चीजों को देखोगे, दिस इज द प्रिसाइज रीजन व्हाई द रिकवरी इज क्वाइट स्ट्रॉन्ग इन मेनी कंट्रीज विच हैव गिवन वेरी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टिमुलस. अभी यूरोजोन और यूएस के केस में ट्रू है, जापान के केस में ट्रू है, साउथ कोरिया के केस में ट्रू है. इंडिया का डेटा इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी एनकरेजिंग एज वी showed you earlier, but India has a slight problem. इंडिया का प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जो इंडियन स्टिमुलस है उसका साइज इतना बड़ा नहीं है. अगर आप ये लेफ्ट साइड पे चार्ट देखेंगे, the fiscal impulse is very small in India. It's not even about 1% or so. जैसे जर्मनी का fiscal impulse is going towards 40%. US, UK, all of them are above 5 to 10%. This is extremely strong, right? और इसमें अगर आप ध्यान से देखोगे तो जो ब्लू लाइन है दैट इज द इमीडिएट फिस्कल इम्पल्स, और जो पिंक लाइन है, पिंक बार है, दैट शोज यू लिक्विडिटी मेजर. सो इंडिया ने ज्यादातर लिक्विडिटी मेजर्स दिए हैं, फिस्कल इम्पल्स बहुत छोटा दिया है. बाकी कंट्रीज ने मिक्स ऑफ बोथ दिया है, और जिस कंट्री ने बड़ा फिस्कल इम्पल्स दिया है वहां पे रिकवरी जल्दी आ रहा है. और सिमिलरली इंडिया ने जो भी खर्चा प्रॉमिस किया है दैट इज लार्जली filling up what they had promised earlier. Government is not doing any new expenditure, and that's why we feel कि जो इंडिया के numbers हैं, although they are strong, they could have been more stronger. The recovery could have been faster, but nonetheless, I think the recovery is strong. It also explains why Indian markets are underperforming. So you will see that Dow Jones has moved up from 18,000 to 27,000 or 26,000. 45% rise. Small cap stocks are up 50-60% in US. Nasdaq is at all-time high. In Germany, the DAX index has gone from 8,200 to about 12,800. A huge rise, about 50%. In the same sense, India has not performed so much. For that matter, even other emerging markets have done a bit better than India. So this tells you that overall, the size of stimulus has mattered for recovery in various countries, and that has played out in India also. Nonetheless, we feel that Indian numbers, even accounting for this shortfall in stimulus, are very strong. So the numbers that Ankita shared are extremely important. वो दिखा रहे हैं कि सीमेंट, जैसे सीमेंट प्रोडक्शन है, so in January we did about 31 million tons production of cement. तो अगर आप 2019 या उससे पीछे जाएंगे, जनरली हमारा रन रेट 25 के आसपास होता था. 25 मिलियन टन मंथली प्रोडक्शन करता था इंडिया. अभी वो प्रोडक्शन नंबर वेंट फ्रॉम, आई विल शो यू. सो इफ यू लुक एट दिस स्लाइड, इट प्रोडक्शन नंबर वेंट फ्रॉम 31 in January and Feb to 25 in March to 4 in April. And what is surprising, it is back to 20 in May, which is a very sharp rise. Most people would have thought that it will take another 2-3 months to even come back to 2025. And that is the precise point that we are trying to make, that recovery numbers are stronger. Why they are stronger is because there is a lot of support from global stimulus in most other countries. India, the support is not so strong, but now we have something which is working for us from a global standpoint. So what we are saying is कि क्योंकि global stimulus इतना बड़ा है, इंडियन इकोनॉमी का जो एक्सटर्नल पोजीशन है, जो हमारा फॉरेन ट्रेड है, वहां पे इंडिया को हेल्प मिल सकता है. सो इंडिया का जो फॉरेन ट्रेड है उसमें हम लोग इंपोर्ट्स इस समय कम कर रहे हैं और एक्सपोर्ट्स में रिकवरी थोड़ा ज्यादा आ रहा है. तो अगर आप लास्ट डेटा देखेंगे, आर एक्सपोर्ट्स विच वर डाउन 66% इन अप्रैल, दे आर डाउन 35% इन मे. सो देयर इज अ रिकवरी ऑफ अबाउट 30%. एंड सेम टाइम पे जो हमारे इंपोर्ट्स हैं वो इतने रिकवर नहीं हुए हैं, विच मीन्स कि हमारे एक्सपोर्ट्स जल्दी रिकवर हो रहे हैं और इंपोर्ट्स धीरे से. उसका कारण है इंडियन लोकल डिमांड कम है, बाहर की डिमांड बढ़ रही है. तो अगर आपके एक्सपोर्ट्स और इंपोर्ट्स, जो आपका ट्रेड बैलेंस है और आपका करंट अकाउंट बैलेंस है, अगर वो फेवरेबल रहता है तो ग्रोथ में से जो डिडक्शन है वो कम हो जाती है, क्योंकि इंडिया एक नेट इंपोर्टर है. तो जब आप इंपोर्ट करते हो तो आपको डॉलर पे करने पड़ते हैं बाहर. तो अगर आपका ये जो फिगर है इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट का, ये जितना जीरो के नजदीक आएगा, आपको उतने कम डॉलर बाहर देने पड़ेंगे. आपका ट्रेड बैलेंस और करंट अकाउंट बैलेंस इंप्रूव होगा, और इस इंप्रूवमेंट से जीडीपी को सपोर्ट मिलेगा. सो व्हाट वी आर सेइंग इज कि देयर इज अ फ्लो थ्रू ऑफ ग्लोबल स्टिमुलस व्हिच इज हैपनिंग थ्रू एक्सटर्नल ट्रेड फॉर इंडिया, थ्रू इंपोर्ट एंड एक्सपोर्ट. Domestically, some sectors are coming back at a very fast pace. Plus, the support from external situation, import export, will also favor India. These two we think are going to be the key driver. With exports could be a significant driver going ahead. Second important point, जो अगर आप मार्केट्स को देखेंगे तो देर आर सम की इंडिकेटर्स टू वॉच आउट. जैसे टेड स्प्रेड है, टेड स्प्रेड दिखाता है कि इंटरबैंक मार्केट के अंदर कितनी नर्वसनेस है. आर बैंक्स रेडी टू लेंड टू ईच अदर. ये यूएस का इंडिकेटर. इट हैज फॉलन क्वाइट शार्पली. ये मई 2008 में जब लीमन क्रैश हुआ था, इट हैड शॉट अप लाइक एनीथिंग. नाउ इट हैज कम, इट अगेन शॉट अप, बट नाउ इट हैज कूल्ड डाउन. Secondly, US 10-year yields, they have picked up. Falling bond yields are generally a sign that markets are not expecting growth. So this is very, very important for yields to bottom out. Secondly, अगर आप देखेंगे gold to copper ratio, gold generally risk of sentiment में अच्छा करता है. So now it has started to fall off. Copper, जो कि base metal है, it shows the demand strength in the economy. It has started to perform better. Again shows कि risk sentiment कम हो रहा है globally. बॉन्ड यील्ड्स जो हैं लोअर क्वालिटी पेपर की, दे हैव स्टार्टेड टू कम ऑफ अगेन, जहाँ पे फेड आके इंटरवीन कर रहा है मार्केट के अंदर. एंड अनदर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इज द डॉलर इंडेक्स. सो डॉलर इंडेक्स इज अ की इनपुट ग्लोबली ऑन द रिस्क सेंटिमेंट. इफ द डॉलर इज वीकनिंग, इट टेल्स यू कि दो बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हो सकती हैं. पहला, इमर्जिंग मार्केट्स की सिचुएशन इंप्रूव हो सकती है, क्योंकि इमर्जिंग मार्केट्स का बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट इंप्रूव हो सकता है. सो जैसे जैसे ग्लोबली डॉलर वीक होता है, इट जनरली इज बिकॉज ऑफ टू रीजंस. पहला, दैट ग्लोबल डॉलर लिक्विडिटी इज इंप्रूविंग, जो कि इस चार्ट में अगर आप देखेंगे तो आपको दिखेगा कि जो कस्टडी होल्डिंग है, मतलब जो फेड आउटसाइड ऑफ यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के लिए सिक्योरिटीज होल्ड कर रहा है, they are going up. That means dollar liquidity with outside of US is improving. और जब ये improve होता है, आप generally देखेंगे डॉलर वीकन होता है. And we think that this trend is very important and it has to develop more. ये जितनी ज्यादा weakness आएगी, emerging markets के लिए अच्छा होगा. तो एक तरफ से अगर डॉलर वीक होता है और ऊपर हमने देखा commodity like copper prices when they improve, तो emerging markets की balance of payment situation improve होती है. और जैसे ही वो situation improve होती है, domestic economy, it stabilizes. So I think this is another very, very important indicator of risk which is beginning to cool off. जो पहले मैंने आपको 3 इंडिकेटर दिखाए उसके अलावा. So this is again a very, very important indicator that tells you that sentiment and on ground trade positioning globally is improving. And again, as I said, जैसे ही डॉलर गिरता है, अगर आप ये ब्लू लाइन देखेंगे, whenever dollar falls, emerging market stock markets do very well. Dollar rises, they fall. It's generally the opposite way that they move. And this is again playing out now. आप सुन के में भी you will be surprised. Ex of India, the Asian emerging market index is back to the levels where Nifty was at 12,000. That is the kind of rally that we've seen outside of India. Indian rally has been subdued, as I said, because some measures are underwhelming. Maybe those measures will be taken later on. Maybe government will come out with a new package. When they will come out, we don't know. But there are still conversations going around that government will come out with a package when the lockdown is 100% lifted. क्योंकि अभी भी कई cities are under still lockdown and precautionary measures. So that will again be a positive. So what is our outlook on markets? What we are saying is that you have to buy on dips. Two things are very clear. This is a market which will continue to be volatile. So what you have to exercise is to buy on dips. Whenever the market falls, you need to add. Our clear advice is what you should do is deploy 2/3, that is about 66% of your investable capital. That means कि अगर आपके पास 100 रुपए हैं इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए, तो तकरीबन 5% एवरी वीक आप इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं एंड टेक दैट नंबर टू 66. That should be your allocation right now. And why do we feel so? Many indicators have improved. You will see financial conditions are stabilizing. Banks liquidity situation is improving, not completely, but to some extent. Maybe RBI will take more measures to address this situation because it requires a lot more action from RBI, and we think RBI is moving in that direction, and more measures will come. On bonds, we think, so as I said, on stock markets, we think you should buy up to 66% of your investable capital. Markets will be volatile. Whenever they decline, you should use that opportunity to add to stocks, to your ETFs, to whatever equity products that you do. I think that will be the best thing to do. On bonds, we think that interest rates are set to fall further. हमें लगता है कि इस साल अगर बॉन्ड यील्ड्स 580 पे हैं जहाँ पे अभी चल रही हैं 10-year बॉन्ड यील्ड, आई थिंक इट इज स्टिल क्वाइट हाई, बिकॉज अगर इस साल रियल रेट्स अभी 5 या 6% के आसपास हैं, दे आर जस्ट टू हाई. So if inflation is going to be close to 0% or negative, we can't have such high interest rates. So RBI may continue to cut rates, introduce more liquidity measures, plus corporate bond spreads are still very high. So all this tells us that ये cool off होना भी बाकी है. So bonds and stocks both appear to be a good allocation strategy, and we always expect you to follow asset allocation where a part of your portfolio will be equity and a part will be debt. So I think that should continue. वैल्यूएशंस बेसिस पे आई थिंक निफ्टी मे बी फेयर वैल्यू के आसपास है अभी, बट एक्स ऑफ निफ्टी आई थिंक मार्केट आर स्टिल एक्सट्रीमली lucrative, lot of opportunities. We have a number of ideas going around, number of portfolios and reports that we've come out with for direct stocks. And if you don't do direct stocks, I think there are enough number of mutual funds that we are recommending that you can look at, number of equity products that we are recommending. So you should follow that. I think that will be the best strategy to do, because on valuation basis, we are maybe normal or close to normal. So I think with this, I'll probably stop here, and we would now take some questions. And Ankita, I'll pass it on to you. Yeah, Ankita, you're on mute, I think. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Sahil.